Perfect. So I'm going to give the stage to Sophie Corcoran. She's worked with some fantastic people. She's a writer and political commentator. Can everyone give her a round of applause, please? Thank you.
Before I begin, I thought I'd just show you my perfect book that I pulled out of my bookcase this morning. Very relevant, guys, very relevant.
Hold up to your mouth properly.
Oh, well, I couldn't hold my book. So, guys, it's really good to see you. I'm not really actually a person that comes and speaks at many protests, to be honest. I think this is probably the first one I've ever spoken at. But James asked and I said yes, so I suppose here we go. Apologies if I suck. But the thing I was thinking, when you hear of a country where they arrest people for straying from the government's narrative, that censors speech online, that they use the courts to silence people, that it controls what people eat and what they drink, and uses digital surveillance, most of you, rightly so probably, will think that I'm speaking about North Korea. But I'm not. I'm speaking about the UK, right here, right now. We're seeing people be arrested for causing anxiety. A mother was sentenced to 31 months in prison for a tweet that she deleted. A woman with cancer had police turn up at her house and demand that she apologise to someone for offending them or she'll be facing arrest. And a man was arrested in the dead of the night for daring to tweet the meme that said, "Fuck Hamas." This isn't China. It isn't Iran. No, it's Britain. We were told that the Online Safety Act would protect children from pornography and violence. Instead, it's been used to censor protests, censor political speech online, and even censor some messages from our elected members of parliament. We've seen Section 14 orders be used at protests like in Epping. I know many of you have probably interacted with that at some point. And we've seen people arrested for silently praying in their heads. And now, in Nando's, if you ever go to Nando's, if you like Nando's, there is a sign that says you are only allowed to drink 1 glass of Coca-Cola due to new government laws. So, in essence, the government now polices everything. It polices what you think, what you say, and even what you drink. And yet, the most dangerous intrusion of all, the one thing that ties all of those things together, and the one reason why, of course, we are all here, is because of digital ID. But we're told it's to crack down on illegal working. That's nonsense. We have national insurance numbers that do that already. The issue isn't the system, it's political will and a lack of enforcement. If the government truly cared about cracking down on illegal working, they would go after the likes of Uber Eats and Deliveroo, who openly hire illegal workers, instead of forcing law-abiding citizens who have done nothing wrong into a grid of digital surveillance. They say it's about convenience and efficiency, but convenience must never come at the cost of our liberty, ever. And I will say that one more time. Convenience must never come at the cost of liberty, and this is exactly what is going to happen here. A digital ID isn't just a passport on your phone. It's a gateway to constant monitoring, tracking where you go, what you buy, what you read, and what you think. And we already know the government polices that quite harshly. We've seen this happen elsewhere. In China, it's tied to a social credit system. In the EU, it's being linked to bank accounts and digital wallets. Once that infrastructure exists, it never stays voluntary for long.
Exactly.
Today, it's about security, it's about efficiency, but tomorrow it will be about compliance and it will be about control. Just think, who remembers the COVID passes? They began as a temporary health measure. But as we know in politics, nothing's ever temporary. And they quickly become conditions of everyday life. And they said to us, it's your choice. It's your choice if you want this, but if you don't do it, We're going to force you out of your job. We're going to ban you from seeing your friends. We're going to ban you from seeing your family. And we're not going to let you go out to places. But don't forget, it's still your choice. They were never our choice. And digital ID, once it's normalised, there's nothing to stop a future government linking them to your tax records, social media, or even your bank account access. And now it's already easier enough to get arrested for what you tweet online. Just imagine when they have the records of our names and our addresses at their disposal so easily. We're all going to end up in the slammer reading 1984. And let's not forget, of course, that our government has an absolutely terrible record on protecting our own data. I mean, this is the government where there was NHS data leaks, lost laptops, and we even gave information to the Taliban. This government has proved time and time again that it just cannot be trusted with our personal information. And yet it wants to now control a centralised digital database for every citizen in Britain. No, we do not trust them with this kind of power. In fact, we should not trust any government with this kind of power, no matter who they claim to be. And we're not alone. Nearly 3 million people have already signed a petition against digital ID. So there may not be many of us here, but there's many, many more of us out there. And you know something is a problem when us of the right wing are agreeing with Jeremy Corbyn.
I'm his brother.
But the government, as expected, so far have ignored everyone, as they usually do, because they have no respect for democracy. But as Margaret Thatcher once warned, we must always be aware of the enemy within, which is much more difficult to fight and far more dangerous for our liberty. The greatest threat to our freedom doesn't come from a foreign power. It comes from our own government. From a government that believes that people are to be managed and not served. From politicians who think they have the right to control everything that we do. From how many glasses of Coke we drink at a Nando's. My friends, this isn't about technology, it's about trust and it's about freedom and it's about the kind of country that we want to leave to our children. Because once our identity becomes digital, our freedom is gone forever. So let's all draw a good line under it today. I don't care who the fuck you voted for in the past. I don't care if you're UKIP, I don't care if you're the British Communist, to be fair, the British Communists will be cheering this on. I don't care if you're Labour. Let's work together and say no to digital ID.